Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the MoveU podcast. I'm really excited about today because it's one of my favorite topics on the planet. I made it catchy. Well, ChatGPT helped me make it catchy too. Joint alignment, the sweet spot for a life without pain. They said joint centration, but I was like, no, it's got to be alignment.
Yep.
Hi, Fab.
Hi.
Okay. So today, what we are talking about is really exciting. It's going to be the concept of joint alignment. And you're going to learn what joint alignment is. You're going to learn when your joints are aligned, what occurs with your body, how your body heals, common misalignments that exist. They're everywhere. I can see them from a mile away. Most of you have these things and don't even know it. These misalignments, what the misalignments cause with your muscles, with your tendons, tightness, stiffness, pain. Then I'm going to introduce you to a concept called joint centration, which is this like sweet spot, ideal, heavenly position of the joints. And you're going to learn what that is and the benefit of that and how to get in that position. And then we're going to, then we do the conclusion.
Good job, Mike.
So that's how it's going to go.
You're so prepared today.
Yeah. I might have skipped over a couple things. I feel pretty prepared for this, though.
Yeah.
All right. So before we begin, this podcast is sponsored by MoveU. It's sponsored by MoveU and our MoveU programs. Listen, all of this here, whether you have chronic pain or misalignment or muscle imbalances, and if you tried physical therapy, you've tried chiro, you've had x-rays, you've had this, there's one thing that you haven't done yet, and I know you haven't done it yet. It is to fix your shit. It's to actually take ownership of your own body, to stop relying on others to fix you for you or tell you what's wrong with you. It's for you to actually go through movements, go through alignment exercises to understand, to fix, to connect with your body, to gain control over your body. It works every single time. Every time. It never doesn't work. It's literally the laws of biomechanics. You're improving your mechanics, and then your confidence improves, and you're less depressed, and you're less anxious, and you're more confident about the future. And you have less pain.
Check it out. Sign up.
What do you got to say about that?
Just fix your shit. Just do it already.
Good God. The amount of people, guys, I get the comments, we get thousands a month. People just saying the same complaints I've been hearing for 8, 10, 20. I'm like, for God's sake. It's like, what do you want from me? It's never been easier. It's just like you click a button. Nowadays, you just literally click buttons. Okay, back in my day, if you wanted to fix your shit,
in my day,
you had to go to the yellow pages. You literally had to go to the yellow pages or dial up on AOL. You had to like go through. There was no reviews back then either.
No.
You either had a referral or you had something that was on the yellow pages, and you go Johnson Chiropractic. Let's go try them. And then you got to call them. You got to drive in. And then he sucks. He's got bad breath, and you got to find somebody. Look, guys. Now you literally just hold your stupid face up to the phone and just click a button, and it goes clink. Your face isn't stupid. I'm frustrated, okay? Okay? You have a lovely face. But you click, and you start fixing your shit. It's that easy.
Sign up now.
I need to work on my frustration. I think I just need more love.
I've known you for too many years, and your frustration level with people has not – I have not been able to help you in that department
Really?
yet. No.
I'm reading like
I get it. But your patience for people just
humanity.
complaining and not doing anything about it,
yeah.
it's just the same, like this.
I try, guys. I read the Bible. I read Buddhism. I do cold plunge and meditate. I'm working on it, okay? I want to be more compassionate and more love. But right now, it's just fix your shit and shut up.
That was great.
All right. So, anything else to add to that?
No, let's do it.
All right, good.
Let's teach them some stuff.
All right. So, what is overall body alignment? What body alignment is? It's an ideal positioning of the joints of your body. You have many joints, maybe hundreds of joints in your body, and it's the ideal positioning or stacking of each one of those joints that most closely mimics how your body is designed from the factory, from God, from nature, this perfect alignment. Our body, our spine has a certain curve, our scapulas, all of our joints are designed to like fit to nuzzle so perfectly up to the next one. They just have this little sweet spot, each one of those. And so what alignment is being able to position your body into alignment of each one of those joints individually, then move it into the region of the body, like aligning your back, your middle back, your neck, and then your shoulders. So it's this ideal positioning and stacking of all of the joints in your body at once. And that's a term that is called joint centration. It's this ultimate balance point, which we're going to get into the definition below. So that is what alignment is. It's that ideal stacking, and it's a combination of using consciousness, conscious thought, and conscious connection to muscle, combined with centering yourself, with centering your body. It's consciousness combined with the design of your body.
Yep. Okay,
this ideal design combined with consciousness. You could be real conscious, but you're not. If you're only in your design, you can literally stack your body up like what's the game where you got to put the Jenga blocks? Jenga, right? It's like many of these things people use for alignments. They'll use like an arch lift. That treats the body more like as Jenga blocks.
Right.
Like, let's just stack it here. But that doesn't account for actually the muscle control. And so if you stack your body up like Jenga blocks, you make one wrong move.
Fall.
Down
Collapse.
they go. Down they go. So, but if you got a muscle balance, you basically get some rigidity on side of the Jenga blocks, a little more prevention.
So it's the idea of the kind of Vitruvian, right?
Yeah,
like
that's right.
What you think of perfect posture / alignment. Yes,
and that is in one. So alignment, and I'm glad you mentioned this, but Leonardo da Vinci, one of his best work is the Vitruvian Man, right? I didn't get to see him when I was over in, I think he's in Venice, but it wasn't viewable to see. But Vitruvian Man is the man with the palms forward and just kind of like the different angles. But that's like the goal, right? Yeah. Like, are you going to get there? You're probably not going to get there, right? Me, I could still get there to the Vitruvian position. I'm joking. Get it? So
I was like, wow,
it's
really
an ideal. That position is one to strive to move towards. Okay? Probably never achieve it, but it's always striving to move towards that ideal aligned position. But you brought up a good point. It's also, think of alignment not in terms of just static posture, but movement. Mm-hmm. So if you are doing a push-up, right? Or you're doing a push-up, there is also an ideal aligned position based on gravity, based on the angles of your joints for one sliver or one moment or 1 nanosecond of that push-up. If you stop it in time, there is a sweet spot for there. There's a sweet spot for every single every moment of your life. There is, if you're falling off a 2-story roof, right? Flipping in circles, there is an aligned position for you to find the moment before. To best fall.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes the forces of life outweigh even your best alignment positions, but all we can do is put ourselves. That's why many people, they go, they step off a curb and they sprain their ankle. I'm like, well, your body was not in aligned position to begin with, or it was misaligned to begin with, or it was like the Jenga blocks where it's just kind of stacked up without any of the awareness component of this at that moment. And so pretty much any accident, anything out there, like sports injury, I'm getting more heartless with people's reasons for their injuries.
Right.
Even if they go,
it sounds overwhelming when I hear you say this, right? But I feel like when you're educated enough to know what your body's best alignment should be, it all should fall into place as far as your movements go.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds overwhelming to be like, every way I move needs to be thought out.
I see how they could think that.
Right. It's more of, you should know what your personal best alignment should be.
Right.
And then you move from there with like being more mindful of how you're moving throughout your day.
And so what Fabi's saying is so the methodology, what I created to make it really simple for you guys, is there's 5 optimal positions of the body. There's just 5 to learn. Okay, now, it's not something you learn like I could teach it to you in a minute. I could kind of teach it, but I was thinking about driving home. Learning it's like saying, this is how to hit a baseball. Like, I could show you the basics.
Right.
But, you could choose over the next 20 years to, like, improve that and be a professional on that level. Or you can just, get your body able to go play a little drunken Thursday softball.
Right.
And to that level. I used to do it. Were you ever in softball leagues?
Mm-mm.
No? That was good times. My dad traumatized me when I was young, though. He, like, forced me to play baseball, and he forced me to play.
Yeah.
I think he did. I don't have any evidence of this, but I played for 8 years, and I don't remember liking any of it. So something was going on there where I was going back. Because I know
you kept showing up for some
It's not like I showed up. It's not like I drove there, put the cigarette out of the way out of my car and
Right.
ate, and then got over. No, like something happened there. But in a way, like, I got some issues with baseball. Still got to work those out. It's on the list. Shit to work out. Okay. Oh, what was I saying? What were we talking about? There was something
alignment.
Yeah, but what about before?
The five ways.
Oh,
the
right,
five
right.
movements.
Okay, so there's just what Fabio was saying. It doesn't have to be complex. There's just 5 to learn. Number 1 is your core brace. Number 2 is called your hip hinge, ground force, knee, ankle, and foot. Your scapula scoop, and your head pivot. And so these are all. Each one of those is the ability to position your neck. One's to position and align your shoulder and your upper back. The other is how to position your core. The other is to position your knee, ankle, and foot. And then, is that all 5? And the one's how to properly. The other one is a position of how to hinge from your hips. So each one of those, like learning each one of those will, and then you apply, once you know each one of those, like ground force, you now know if you jump over a fence, you kind of know how to land. I have one member, and I reached out to them, and they had an issue where what happened with them? There was a dog fight, and this currently happened. One of our members, there was some sort of a dog fight, and they ran in to break it up, and next thing you know, he tore his meniscus, ripped his MCL, all this stuff, right? And I think in my other days, I would be like, oh my goodness, that sucks, and that's bad luck. But I think of that, the longer I do this, the more I think of all of those to be, well, if you had the skill, if you were in the right footwear, if you were able to grip, if you were able to keep your ankle aligned, you could still break up a dogfight and prevent that from happening at the same time. Now, sometimes it's not possible.
Right.
Like you fall out of a helicopter from 80 feet and hit the top of a pine tree and tumble onto a shed and then fall into a creek on a rock. There's some things where you're just like, shit. But even then, even if that's you, your body now was thrown out of alignment, and it probably is going to stay out of alignment, so you still have to realign it. You with me? So it's just alignment and then misalignment. Was that misalignment?
Well, you haven't even gotten there. That's where we're going.
We're kind of taking a twist on it. I like where this is going.
Yeah.
I like where this one's going. Okay. Oh, so we're at misalignment. So then this, we're actually going to order. I surprised myself. I'm like, oh, I'm right here. That's good. That's where I wanted to be.
Oh, why?
So I'm going to read you the definition for a definition of alignment. I kind of made this one a little bit. So now you know what alignment is. What's a misalignment? Misalignment refers to the deviation of optimal alignment. So it's moving away from optimal alignment and positioning of a joint. It's like your car tires being out of alignment and not in alignment. And what this leads to is it leads to inefficient movement. So when you're out of alignment, okay, there's an ideal aligned, middle, centrated position. Anything other than that is considered misalignment. And there could be many misalignments. And usually what occurs with the body, we're probably going to find out always. Even if one joint misaligns, then one above it has to compensate. The body is so incredible compensating. So one misalignment leads to total body misalignment. And so what misalignment is this unbalanced, unequal position of the joints of one joint or multiple joints of the body. And this position leads to compensations to occur. For example, if two vertebrae are tipped like the triangle, the muscles on this side now have to fight to try to keep it down. These muscles become really tight over here, so these are weak and loose, these are tight. So now when a joint is out of alignment, you now have muscle imbalances side to side. You have ligament imbalances. Some ligaments are really overstretched. Some are like super floppy, like a rubber band that's like just kind of flopping around. You got unequal pressure on discs. So maybe now it's going to compress down on one side of the disc, where the other side of the disc is like brand new. It's like it's like your car tire. New and then worn down. And now those, over the course of time, what occurs is these misalignments that you've developed. We didn't even talk about development from these things. So you develop these things, through sports injuries, car accidents, getting in fights in high school, sitting for 12 years at a desk or however many years. Just keep going. What are some other common ones, Fabi? What cause these things?
Can't you also just be born with
it?
Some?
Totally, born with it.
Or
with genetic.
just repetitive movement of some sort?
Yep, thank you. Yeah, repetitive movements. So you're a cashier, you're just going one direction, right? You're a hairstylist or a surgeon, and you tend to be over like this. So your body now will develop these misalignments from that genetically. You have a certain type of a scoliosis that's a congenital. You've got congenitally one leg longer than another one. You're born with Sherman's disease is one I saw last week. It's basically where your middle back, it's like we haven't talked about Sherman's. What it is, it's this kyphosis of the back. But the reason the kyphosis is there, well, one reason genetically is that the vertebrae are misshaped. They're, instead of shaped like rectangles, they're shaped more like triangles.
Oh, wow.
So it basically creates a position that you won't ever fully get out of. However, you're not off the hook for improving, right? Because that misalignment, what is going to occur is genetically that misalignment will throw your body into a misaligned position. But now what that does is it creates an off-centered center of gravity and weight. So let's just say, for example, you have Sherman's, okay? That's what we're talking about. It's a over kyphosis from this. Now, because this position puts your head far over your head far forward, now what occurs is at a faster rate, the weight of gravity is going to pull you even further out of alignment because you're set up that way from the start. And so that is what causes, so those congenitals often cause, they basically, a good example is like they get you here with misalignment and then gravity takes over from there.
Right.
So.
And we all have
it.
A misalignment.
We have to. I would think everybody.
The more I hear you talk about what alignment or misalignments are, I'm like, most people must have some.
Yeah. I would say that everybody has some sort
because
of.
Because if you have one small thing, everything else is affected. So how do we not?
Yeah, like even if your leg is.
Yeah.
An eighth of an inch. Right?
Yeah.
It's going to drop
some
this. It's going to cause this.
Way more dramatic.
Right.
And drastic.
Well,
but
you bring up a good point, because the point is this. It goes, well. It gets to the root cause. It goes, well, if everyone has a misalignment, then why do some people have pain and why do other people not have pain?
Right.
Right? And because my profession, what I love the most is helping to improve. I love helping improve alignment. Obviously, the issue is when your misalignment that you have correlates with pain.
Right.
Like, for example, if you have a reduced curve of let's just say you have forward head posture and you've lost the curve of your neck. So a flattened neck and forward head posture. And then on top of that, then you have a disc herniation and then you have pain.
Right.
That correlates because the forward head causes extra pressure on that vertebra and on that disc. And now the disc bulges, herniates, and causes the nerve pain. So now you have correlation of this. Sometimes there's misalignments. I try to help people fix the misalignments that correlate because we all have something. But like, I try to help people fix what's the primary misalignment that if they improve this will like make the biggest difference in their body.
Right.
And
when we see people, sometimes we're like, this is the biggest one we see with our eye.
Right.
That we know will make a difference.
Yeah.
So let's start you here.
Let's start here.
And then you can get to the rest.
Some people, what they'll say? They'll go, well, how do you know? It's almost like they'll only start that path if they know.
Right.
And the problem with this is the truth is you never know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know whether you get a surgery. You don't know. You don't know if you go get adjusted. A lot of things you don't know. But we all do have these misalignments that exist, and I think we cleared it up. It's like to focus on the ones that are most correlated to
What's causing the pain?
what's causing it. But I mean, the thing with pain is most of them are still in this pain level. And it's like, for me, I really hope someday it's going to be in my lifetime that we're not just playing in the pool of pain. Basically, you guys are in pain. You're in this pool of people who've been out of alignment for so long that now you have pain. Now your goal is to get out of pain,
Right.
it's a sad goal. It really is a sad goal.
That makes sense, though.
And so, like with myself personally, I have my right foot's flatter than my left knee. I got this valgus collapse in my knee. I go into anterior tilt. I have a protraction of my left shoulder blade, and I still don't fully know. I have joint pain in my T12 from overextension from that. But these are things, for me, I don't have any pain, right? So these are things that I am building into my warm-up, I build in my workout, I build in my awareness all the time, so I can continue moving myself towards it, not just from out of alignment to no pain,
Right.
but out of alignment past no pain to alignment.
Right.
Because when you're aligned, now you have so much wiggle room. You have so much of a buffer until you actually have pain. Many of you go out of alignment and then no pain, then you stop. That's like having $8 in your checking account, and then you get your water bill is $9 more than it was. You literally are that close to a catastrophe again. So I want to be clear that misalignment, moving yourself out of misalignment. So moving yourself from misalignment to alignment or towards, okay? Move from misalignment towards alignment. Here's what occurs at a physiological level. When you're out of alignment, you have uneven compression, uneven rotation, uneven tilting, flexion, extension, uneven pressure on the joint itself. Now, if you have uneven pressure on a joint, that means part of your joint is over compressed. If you overly compress a joint, what occurs over time, 10 years, 20 years, what your body does is your body creates more bone in that area. It makes bone there because your body's smart. It goes, oh, I feel pressure on the joint, and so it's trying to make it stronger. So now over time, if you have joint pressure from a misalignment, that will lead to things like degenerative joint disease, spondylolisthesis kind of, spondylitis, SI joint pain, facet joint pain. Those are all the long-term effect, meaning your joint's been out of alignment for so long that those symptoms develop.
And it can increase risk of injury.
Yeah, because it's already, because you're already there. Like if you're already in extension, okay? If your back's already in extension and your pressure on the joints, and somebody hits you from the chest, you're already in max extension. So any further than this, it just whales
Right.
the joint. There's no buffer. There's no wiggle room in there. So then you have issues with, let's talk about the disc itself. So if you have two vertebrae and then you have misalignment pressing on the disc because it's in a flex position, this misalignment is now pressing on a disc. Well, the disc, it wears out faster. It's called degenerative disc disease. Then if it's still young, now the pressure creates an uneven pressurization of the disc. The middle of the disc is like jelly in a donut. So when you press in the front, the jelly comes out the back. So long-term pressure on the disc, you now get things like disc herniations, which hit the nerve root and cause sciatica. So now what occurs with this is if that's the effect. Those are just two of the muscle imbalances side to side, ligament. I could go into all the details with this thing, but it creates roughly 90%. And I was reading a study, 85 to 90% of back pain actually is musculoskeletal in nature. Meaning 9 out of 10 times your back hurts from the alignment of your joints, from how you've been carrying it throughout the day and how you're moving throughout the day. 9 out of 10. If you're looking in other directions for someone else, it's you. Okay? So whenever you move now from this misaligned position to an aligned position, now you're many people, and it's almost not taught, Fabi. It's the body heals in unbelievable ways. And so people go, well, my disc is a certain way, and people will always be like this. let me give you an easy example. Like if you have, let's say a joint pain, SI joint pain, you're an overextension of the back. Now you're in that extension position, it's putting pressure on the joint. When you now move the pressure off of that joint, now what occurs is your body now is able to send healing agents. Look, I don't remember all my blood cells and neutrophils and phagocytes and all these other ones that are involved with this thing and red blood cells. I don't remember all those, but I'll tell you this, when your body is in alignment, your body sends those cells and those hormones, and it sends it to that area, and then the body repairs. It's just like you would cut your arm with a knife. Your body heals itself. So much of your answers, I've seen it, is about putting your body in a more aligned position and then keeping it there for a period of time.
Letting it heal.
Letting it heal.
Yep.
Some things are slow. Like nerves, they're obnoxious to me. They're like white, barely blood flow. They send a message so fast.
Right.
But they're so slow to heal. So oftentimes with that, you remove pressure off of the disc, pushing into the nerve. And then you're holding it there and improving. And there is a degree of faith sometimes. There's faith that like, hey, my body's healing under this. You guys do shit for faith all the time. You take fish oil pills. Hope this works. Multivitamins. Well, my piss looks a different color, so I think it's working. Like you do a lot of things for faith.
Yeah.
You know? This one is putting faith actually just in the natural healing of your body. So that's misalignment and degeneration. We went over some common misalignments already.
I feel like you talked a lot about those.
Yeah, I'll mention a couple more.
Yeah.
Misalignments are things that you guys see with your eyes. All right, you see them with your eyes. You see
the neck forward.
It's head posture.
You see the winging scaps.
Shoulder blades.
The arched back.
Arched back, flat back. People don't
collapsing
usually see
knees,
collapsing
flat
knees.
feet.
Yeah. Nice. High hips.
High hips.
Yeah.
Uneven hips.
Uneven hips. That's what people like to say.
Yep.
They love that one.
Is it not accurate?
Scoliosis.
Scoliosed.
People love sciatica and they love scoliosis. I think everyone wants both of them. I had a private conversation with another PT, and we're talking about sciatica, and she's just like, I just feel like everyone like wants sciatica or something.
It's the first thing they say.
It's the first. I get sciatica. I'm like, that's shoulder pain, dude. That's shoulder impingement. I really think if we should get a shirt, my sciatica, I wonder if people would want it. She pretty much, you nailed them. You might hear things upper cross, lower cross, scoliosis is on there. And so each one of those misalignments mentioned, each one of those causes a cascade effect of misalignments, a predictable cascade effect of misalignments that move all the way up from that misalignment to the top of the head. And so this predictability is for example, if you see a flat foot, it goes with inversion of the ankle, it goes with a valgus knee, it goes with internal rotation of the knee, it goes with a weak glute, it goes with the anterior tilt. That creates too much arch in the low back. That creates a kyphosis as a result in the upper, and that creates usually a little excessive curve of the neck, and that's going to create a scapula that's going to be in a more protracted forward position. That's from a foot.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
I know.
I used to think the mistake that people make is they just want to know give me the foot things.
Right.
I used to do that. I used to do it all the time. Just focus only on that.
Right.
That one thing.
Yep.
That sounds awful, meaning like, oh my God, I'm fucked.
Totally.
I never
My
want
flat foot.
Oh yeah.
I'm screwed.
I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Guys, I found the best way. If you ever feel overwhelmed about this, the best way I know to fix it is you focus on one area at a time.
Yep.
Right? You do the foot, you do the ankle first, then the foot, then you did the knee, and you get the hip.
We even did that for them.
What do we do?
They could do one program at a time. They could do one section at a time.
We literally did that for you. That's how all the programs in the app are organized. So they're all one program. So basically you pick your top area injury or your top misalignment. You can just start in that program. Mm-hmm. And even if you think you don't know, they're going to connect to the other one. You're not going wrong by starting it. There's no wrong way to start. I just want people to start in like the best area for them. I'd love to have some future like analysis tools that we offer people.
Yeah.
I'd love that. That'd be incredible. For the most part, you can like where your pain is generally a good area for you to start. Okay, that's a good area for you to start with. And if you know your misalignment, if you got an area where you know you have a misalignment and you have pain in that area, you're definitely just pick that area. So I have back pain and I got too much arch in the back. Start with the back and core program. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we had a guy not too long ago. He was doing well through MoveU, and on day 82 is when he said he had a break for day 80 because he realized his kyphosis with his low back. He went like low back and then hip, and then
We've had people in here that have surprised us too.
You know what we need to follow up.
As soon as they lay down, we're like, oh,
they hide it.
They hide it in their posture. Anyway.
It's so hidden. Your kyphosis, you guys hide it. Like many of you have this rounded upper back, and you hide it. You like shift your hips forward. Mm-hmm. You like push your head forward. Do some of your shoulders. Literally, it's like invisible until you lay down. You lay down. You go, oh, there it is.
Yep. That's
when Dr. Mike the Chiro, I come in and I jump off. I have a ladder in here. It's like 7 feet, and I come at it with a flying elbow.
Just cracks it down.
I've only ever seen, recently in the last few years, I've only seen an adjustment truly profoundly change one person.
Yeah.
You know who that was?
That was incredible.
Holy shit. You guys got to see this before and after. This dude's back was so kyphotic and I adjusted him. Like half of it gone with one adjustment. And he wasn't young. He's got to be 50.
Yep.
It's not like a 12-year-old.
I know.
Let's follow up with them, actually.
Yep.
Okay. So
I think it's important to talk about the one misconception, the flexibility and strength. People are like,
oh, yeah.
That means I'm aligned.
Right. So here's a misconception. You see this. Now, this is also perpetuated by different professions. PTs tend to do this. It's like many of you who are in pain. Okay. Will you get out of pain so I can talk to you like a normal adult, please? So many of you who are in pain, you think that there's something else that's going to get you better. Like if I was more flexible or if I was stronger. So what you'll do is you'll take where you are and you try to focus on flexibility. And here's what occurs. Your body's out of alignment. It hurts because it's out of alignment. Yes, some areas, your body's created globally. I was born on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being flexible, 1 not flexible. I was born, I'm about a 5. I'd say I'm a solid 5. Like I've got to
For flexibility?
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I'd say so. So overall, there's a degree of genetic where some people are just the most hypermobile is called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, right? You're just hypermobile. That's actually because of a disease, a tissue disease. And some people are so freaking stiff. Okay. Now, you get this stiff person, and he's just like, I'm in pain. Oftentimes you're not in pain because you're tight. Even if you're tight overall, you still have certain muscles. Like if you're overall tight and you have back pain and you have forward tilt, your back muscles can be tight, but your front muscles are still weak. Yes, your front muscles, your abs are still tight because the rest of you is tight, but it's weak in relation to the back muscle. So these misalignments itself are causing the shape of the spine to change, and then it causes one muscle to get tight and one muscle to be long and short and tight and one muscle to be long and weak. So when you use someone tight, you go, hey, maybe if I just need more flexibility, so you'll go do yoga, which yoga is great, by the way. I love yoga and Pilates. And yoga is going to balance you off. They're going to stretch one side, they'll stretch your back, and they're also going to stretch the front. And so the yoga isn't necessarily improving your body alignment. You're getting flexibility and joint mobility as a result. And you're going to continue your life looking with the same misalignment. Like it's unlikely that yoga is going to change your alignment. The same alignment you go into yoga with is the same one you're going to end with. Mm-hmm. But you're going to have more flexibility across the board. It's so much more efficient for you to actually just focus on strengthening the muscle before strength comes activation. Actually, let me go back. It's so much more effective and I believe simple for you to focus on realigning the joints. See, because when you realign the joint, when you realign the back, just by realigning it, strengthens the weak side and loosens the tight side. So you're like 2 for wanting it.
You get a twofer.
You get a twofer. You get a twofer. And so that misconception, there's also one with strength, like, because generally speaking, women significantly more flexible. I was reading there was some data on the neck, and it was like, I forget the motion with women, but roughly 25% more flexible than men across the board. And so women, as a general rule, in pain, if you're a woman, it would likely help you to focus on, well, I don't want to even go grossly say flexibility or alignment, but do know that that's the category of the being a little more flexible on the women's side and a little less flexible on the men. I don't want to fool you. I don't want to give you any false hope. Say go be strong. But one of the general things is like, okay, if you're overall flexible, get more stability and strength. If you're overall too strong, get more flexibility. But that, once again, you're going to keep your same misalignments. You're going to be stronger here, and you're going to be more flexible. But the same postural misalignment is going to exist, which often can mean, and I don't know the data on that after you combine yoga with misalignment and then long-term. I would assume that your body's still going to predictably degenerate. Your body's still going to predictably degenerate based on the misalignment you have. But if one person did yoga and one didn't, at a slower rate if you are in yoga versus not in yoga. God, does that work?
No.
Shit.
We lost Martine on that one.
Man, I tried. That one didn't come out.
You tried hard.
I still got to work at that one.
Yep.
Okay. Right. And so we can skip that. MDs and DOs. I do want to mention surgery for a minute with misalignment. And let me give you one example. Let me give you the example of the shoulder. Shoulder impingement, most common diagnosis in the shoulder. And what occurs is where your arm bone collides into the underside of your acromion or the tip of your shoulder. It almost collides into it. There's a little tendon in the way, and it's your rotator cuff tendon. And so that collision is basically buffered over and over. It's almost like getting, Fabby, if you get you get a brick wall, and then you get a car bumper. Started a foot from that brick wall, okay? Now, in between that bumper, I like this one. In between the bumper, you put a fire hose, all right? And all you're going to do now is just kind of from like 6 inches, just mash into it.
Okay.
And then cut the wheel a little here and cut the wheel a little there. And that is what causes that fraying. But that fraying that's caused from a misalignment of the scapula. The only reason it's bumping isn't because it's colliding because that's the way it is. It's because your scapula can't keep up. You can't keep the speed of rotation up with the movement of your arm because you have scapular dyskinesis. And so now what the surgeon does is they just cut the collision. What they do is this. They basically just move the wall back They just move the wall back or move the car back. Because they cut off a piece of the bone. They cut off the top of the acromion. So now the arm can move. The scapula can still be uncoordinated and dyskinesed like a motherfucker. Okay? Dyskinesed. But now the arm has a little more freedom to go up because the roof isn't there or the brick wall isn't there as soon. But it's still there. So surgeons often treat the body like, well, this is the way your body is. And then they just cut the bones off and stuff so that your body can move into it rather than fix your shit. Means we'll just fix the alignment with your muscles and your mind. So I want to note that. And I also want to know chiropractors are very good at diagnosing and assessing for misalignments. And they're really good at putting them back into position with an adjustment. What chiropractors, so they're good. Like for joint alignment, joint-related pain, chiropractors can give you a lot of motion real fast. But what they can't do is this. And what they often, I don't want to say what most of them don't do is most of them don't teach you how to hold your body into position without their adjustment.
Right. They can do it for you, and then you go about your merry life, and then in a few days, you need to be readjusted.
Or sometimes a few weeks or a few months or a few, whatever it is. So
it's effective if you also put in the knowledge to fix it yourself so you don't have to get adjusted every time.
Thank you.
I still like your adjustments all the time, but
Yeah.
it's not because I need them. I'm just like, oh, adjustment sounds nice.
They are nice.
Yeah.
It's like, I've never really communicated them how to use an adjustment, because here's what happens to you. You go to, and this is, you know who this happened with? I had a client recently. He was doing, this was you scheduled him with me. He was the dude overseas. He was the dude in, so he came to me with, I think it was neck issues. He was doing MoveU. He goes, I did MoveU for a few months and then I stopped. I go, why'd you stop? He goes, well, I was doing MoveU, and then I went to a chiropractor and he adjusted me, and then he told me something different. And then afterwards, I was like, I stopped. I was just confused. And that is why I have a hard time sending people to them. It's because they get different advice. In your brain over there, most of the time you go, if it's confusing, you go, I don't know, this, you go, it's like me in my.
I'm just not going to do either.
I'm just not going to do either.
It's just easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to do either. So that's why.
Not everyone does that, but.
No, you're right. Not everyone does it, but it definitely is a limit.
Well, it can be confusing.
Yeah.
They come in here, you tell them something, and then they're like, that's not what it is. Now what? What am I supposed to do with that?
They never say that to me. They go, oh, wow, that's what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so our brain, I don't know, something's confusing for me. It just goes in my back burner. It's in my inbox still. Mm-hmm. Anything's like, has got like, first of all, any email that has more than 2 question marks in it, I go, oh my God. Unread.
Let's not go there, Mike.
All right, let's not go there. So, physical therapists, generally speaking, they're going to emphasize restoring a range of motion. That's what they're going to emphasize, restoring your joint range of motion. And now you hear this word mobility. It's like this full, free range of motion. However, there's something. There's something in between that. You got this full range of motion, but there's this resting position of the joints. It's an active, aware, resting position of the joint. And that is called joint centration. And joint centration was a phrase, I believe, founded by the Prague School of Rehab. I can't give you a date on it, probably more than 20 years ago. It was a really confusing definition. I've been modifying it. I essentially built the MoveU methodology around joint centration, around joint leveling, joint balancing, aligning the joints like a car tire. I actually was that's a term that I heard in chiro school. Mm-hmm. Someone said it. It just stuck with me for so long. Yeah, it just kind of stuck around. So I'm going to read. I've rewritten the definition for joint centration. I'm going to read this to you guys. It's a little long. It's good though. Joint centration refers to the optimal alignment and positioning of a joint in its most stable and functional position. Much like the alignment of car wheels, just as properly aligned car wheels ensure a smooth and efficient movement, joint centration minimizes stress and strain on ligaments, discs, nerves, and tendons. This alignment promotes their long-term health, reducing the likelihood of injuries or chronic conditions. Furthermore, similar to how wheel alignment creates balance and even wear on tires, joint centration creates muscular balance on both sides of the joint. Just as properly aligned wheels distribute forces evenly, centrated joints ensure that forces acting on the joint are equally distributed, reducing the risk of imbalances that lead to pain, instability, and dysfunction. By prioritizing joint centration, individuals can support overall joint stability, mobility, well-being of joints, and the surrounding musculoskeletal system. So essentially, what Martin, our content creator, said before this, he goes, basically it's equal pressure around the joint. And it is.
It's like in perfect harmony.
It's in perfect. It's the sweet spot. It's equal pressure between two joints. It's equal pressure between two joints. And this equal pressure creates harmony around the joint 360. What's around the joint is ligaments, tendons, muscles. And it creates harmony in between the joint itself. Because in between the joint are discs, labrums, nerves. And so it creates this harmonious position that when you do find this joint alignment position, that's the position of ultimate healing of your body. Now, there is permanence. Some things can't be reversed. Like I read a stat yesterday at my conference I was at, that when you have a labral tear, you're now, when you tear your labrum, your shoulder joint is now 20%, it loses 20% of its stability.
Oh, wow.
For life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now I would tend to believe that research wasn't based on people who know how to align their body and fix their shit.
Right.
But but let's just say it is
so
20.
Something that surgery is causing.
No, not surgery, just a tearing.
Oh, just the tear.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because what it does, if it tears, it increases the surface area of the joint.
Got it.
So here's where I'm getting at. If you have an injury, you go, well, I tore my labrum. Does it even apply to me? Your joint is now 20% less stable. So it means now instead of it moving maybe just a couple degrees, your shoulder joint, it now goes more like this. Now joint centration becomes more important for you than anybody else, because now this 20% instability can create 22, 24, 26, and now those of you who've had injuries, the chronic injuries like degenerative disc disease, labral tears, part of your meniscus is gone, joint centration becomes even more important to you to preserve preserve the life left on the joint, on the muscle, and on the surrounding tissues. Or else you're talking now even a sharper curve of degeneration. So the shoulder labrum, you tear it. Let's say I think our bodies are meant to live 110. That's what they're designed to go, right? So we want our musculoskeletal system to last 110. Well, let's say you're going to die of a heart attack at 88. All right, so we got 88. So you want your joints to last longer than your joints then should last longer than your heart. So they're degenerating at this path over time, 10 years, 20 years. But now you tear your labrum. Now what occurs is you have a sharper spike down. So now that joint might wear out before your heart. So you need to use joint alignment to turn the needle to keep it on its 110-year trajectory.
I really like that analogy.
Yeah?
That makes sense.
Oh, good. Because the last one, you, Martine, shook your head at.
That resonates, though. I mean, you can't get it. You might not be able to get it back to perfect, but you have to help this needle stay at a slower rate.
Good. I've never said it like that. I'm happy it resonated.
I like that.
Okay, good. Because many people, they'll go, I don't know, my disc is done, so nothing I can do. I'm like, no, you need to fix your shit more than anyone else.
Right.
If you want it. Let's think. Here's the all thing. With MoveU, I'm assuming that you want to have an active life and be able to say, yeah. I assume that you want to be able to bike and cycle and pick up your kids and have sex and throw high fives and go on roller coaster and fish. I assume that you want to be able to say yes to those things. And I assume that if the zombie apocalypse comes, you want your body ready to run faster than your friend. I assume that you want those things. If you're like, I just want to lay around and eat popcorn, well, then just, you're probably not following me to begin with. Unless it's for my good looks. Those are the only people that follow me, those people. So, now, you have joint centration, this balance. But then I want to share with you this in a way, it's like the mindset of joint balance. So it's the mindset. There's a level of awareness that you must strive to obtain. And this is my term. It's called positional presence. I'm going to read you the definition for this. Positional presence is a term that refers to the heightened awareness of joint alignment in your body, with a primary focus on maintaining joint centration. It involves being consciously aware of the optimal alignment for each joint in your body, regardless of the posture or movement you find yourself in. While sometimes we may temporarily adopt misaligned positions to accomplish tasks, as long as we are aware of this misalignment and know how to correct it when possible, we can still maintain positional presence. However, if we are unaware of our body's position, have false sense of awareness, or unable to make necessary adjustments, we are no longer positionally present. So positionally present is an awareness of the position of your body at every given moment. And it grows. It's like it's a ripple effect. So if you start it, you maybe just learn your pelvic position, right? I teach that. I love that for starting position for people. Just your pelvic tilt position, because your pelvic tilt position controls what's awesome about it, it controls what happens below the waist. So it has effect from below the hips. That means the glutes, the knees, the ankle, and above it, your back, your core, and your upper back. So it's a pretty awesome place to start your pelvic tilt. But that's one. So when you learn anterior tilt or your forward tilt, whatever you want to call it, or extension of the back, and then flexion, then lateral tilt left, right, and then rotation, and then you find your center position, and then you're aware of that when you're brushing your teeth, you're not positionally present of your pelvic tilt position. So that is, and I get an example for that too. Is I had, you were there when I did my 10-day silent retreat, right? My 10-day silent. You weren't here?
Right after.
Oh, it was? So I did a 10-day silent meditation retreat. And what happened was it was like this, it was called Vipassana. It was the meditation technique that Buddha taught. And you always see like enlightenment, like these like figures, like, you know, you see Buddha, something lifted with all these light around them. And after whatever, 6 or 7 days of this, I was doing all the meditation practice, and I felt like I did something. I felt this buzzing, this like orgasmic buzzing feeling that like went through my arms and went down my other arm. And at the time, I don't know if I told you this. The reason I got into chiropractic was this back pain I have, like T7 right here, this like burning pain. And all of that came back again for the first time in years with a vengeance.
Came back.
Yeah, like it was never gone. I just kept it at bay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because what you do in Vipassana is it's so hard. You pick a posture you're in, and then the goal is not to move at all.
I can't imagine you being silent for 5 minutes.
And then not moving.
Let alone 10 days and in this posture not moving.
Yeah, I know.
That sounds impossible.
There were some tough times in there, I'll tell you that much. But there was. But
wow, I didn't know your pain came back.
Came vengeance, like took over my whole back. And I was like, oh, like it's not gone.
Have you just been masking it?
I wouldn't say masking, because here's the thing. I guess you could say masking in a couple ways. There's ways to mask pain, right? You could take drugs to mask pain. You can rub cream on it. I guess you could say if you want to say masking, I wouldn't use it, but I'd say I was masking my pain with being aligned in my back, with holding better alignment. Because before it came and I'd get adjusted for it, and then I learned how to hold it off.
Interesting.
Mostly through a core brace and scap scoop position. But I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't call that a mask though, because it's more of like an active.
Yeah.
But I realized it came back. So now my whole back, it is burning so bad I can't even focus on the task. It's just burning pain. And then out of nowhere, I get this like buzzing sensation through my arm. It was like this orgasmic, like electricity, pleasant feeling. And it felt so good that my focus was all on that, and my back pain vanished. And I became lighter, like on my seat. I felt lightness. And so I go, whoa, I felt that buzzing. And then it went away. I like walked outside, and I was like, it was crazy. I'm like, I walk outside, it was nighttime, and it was crystal clear skies. And there was like this, we were in Palm Desert, 99 palms, hot outside, like 75 degrees, cactus everywhere. And I just remember taking steps. And I feel like electricity, like grounding out on the ground. And I felt like Jesus walking. I go, I am Jesus in this moment. I got a bit of him in me. I felt it. I felt that shit. And so I'm like walking.
That was a good meditation.
And then so it goes away, right? And my point is. After I learned about that, what I learned was that was only in my skin. What these Buddhist monks study is their goal is full body bandha. So not only is it in their skin, but it's feeling wrapped around I only felt this little strand. All areas wrapped around all of their body. And then get this, it's being able to create the bandha through their body,
right, through
their heart, and to the point where they're just this like, I could feel it. I got a taste for it. It's like this energetic, like electrical mass that's just buzzing. In joint centration, I got like the pelvic tilt of joint centration. I got like a little bit of it.
A little taste
of it. So that is positional presence. And so you got anything to add to that?
How do I add to you feeling like you were Jesus at the moment? That was it.
I did. He understands. He's like, you got a little more of me than usual. You had a little more of me in you than usual. Okay. So summary. In summary, one of the four, did I even talk about the pillars? I don't even think we talked pillars. We didn't mention them, did we? So I created 4 pillars to live in a pain-free life. Alignment, movement, mindset, and recovery. Alignment's my favorite. So today was you learned about alignment. You learned about what alignment was, what alignment is, which is the positioning of the joints of the body, common misalignments, and how misalignments cause uneven wear and tear and pressure on the body, on the joints and nerves. Then about how other professions like chiros, how they can adjust alignment, how maybe PTs focus more on overall mobility and surgeons cut out the pressure of the misalignment. And then you learn joint centration, that ideal sweet spot, holy of a joint position where all is good in the world. And then positional presence, which is awareness of joint centration in one or more areas of the body. And so that's the path that the entire MoveU methodology was built on. And so the method was built in learning 5 key movements: your core brace, your hip hinge, your ground force, scap scoop, and your head pivot. Now, each one of those has series of activation, strength, and mobility exercises underneath each one, so you can achieve the strong aligned position in each one of these. Right? So for the core brace, there's exercises to learn how to move your spine into extension, into flexion, into lateral tilt and rotation. So you're strengthening your body there, and then you learn a concept called oscillation, which is how to find that aligned sweet spot, aligned position. Find that aligned position. And so those are all organized into programs. Each program there's up to 3 levels. So level 1, level 2, level 3. And so all of them are about a month long, and that is our MoveU membership. And I'm super proud to have that available for you guys. The results are incredible. You got to see the testimonials pouring in. It's easy to get started. You can click links somewhere here. Go to MoveU.com. Usually we got a free trial for you guys to start with. And the community's in there as well. So you got coaching calls. I'm in there. Our coaches are in there. Other members are there. You can ask questions. Everything's available inside. It's literally, you have now full printout manuals. So you can just literally print out the manual for back and core. It tells you day 1, day 2, all the way to the end. I think there's if you went absolutely hardcore straight and followed everything, I think there's over a year and 2 months worth of programming in there. Now, what you'll learn is, like I said, with joint centration, is you're going to gain. Remember, your goal. Don't make your goal, I need it gone, or I want this fixed. That's a problem in life. That's like, I need $1 million. When you need $1 million, it's gonna force you to go get $1 million, try to get it, which is like lottery, which is like quick fix shit, right? Yep. So think of it as this is your journey of improving your joint alignment, improving your positional presence, like where you are now, improving. Sometimes you get these massive improvement spikes that happen fast. Sometimes it's a little bit slower. But overall, these programs will help you become more aware in the position of your body, stronger in the weak muscles in your body, more mobile in the tight muscles of your body. Overall, your posture will improve, your movement will improve. You will not only fix your pain, but you're going to prevent future pain from coming because you're going to be in alignment. So get in there. I'm super proud of it. Everybody needs to go in there and fix your shit, especially those people who it doesn't matter where you are in your journey either. If you just finished your 3rd back surgery, or you're in there because you're an educator and you're looking for to increase the knowledge for your clients. The starting point is safe for everybody and still effective even for the most advanced athlete. I get some of my athletes in there over the past. I get the top Olympic, CrossFit athletes, and I get them doing the little movements, and they're just sweating and go, oh my goodness.
Totally.
So it's great. It's going to be great for everybody. So that is the first pillar, joint alignment. Now you know it is joint centration. And head to MoveU.com to learn more about to enroll. You don't need to learn more. You need to go fix your shit. Get in there. Help me reduce my frustration level, 1 member at a time. Love, Dr. Mike.
Love, Dr. Mike.
Thanks, Fab.
Thank you.